Recording is good.
Hello and welcome Toastmasters and guests to Technopark Toastmasters Club Open House. I'm Rajeshri and I will be the surgeon with AMPS for the day. Toastmasters International is a non-profitable organization started by Radhika Medley to promote public speaking. Let me quote the mission of our Toastmasters Club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater confidence and personal growth. There are some ground rules which we need to follow during the meeting. 1, please refrain from making any reference to religion, politics, and sex in your speech, which may hurt others' sentiments. 2, please turn off all the noise-making devices like mobile phones or put them in silent mode. And 3, avoid crosstalks when someone is speaking. And 4th one, considering this virtual setup, please ensure that you mute yourself or put them yourself or if you're not speaking. I request all the guests to put their names in the meeting chat to introduce yourself. And also, if you are interested in joining the club, you may stay back after meeting and reach out to us. Once again, I welcome all of you to Technopark Toastmasters Open House. Now, I would like to invite our president for his address. Toastmaster Prakash is a technology consultant at Tata Alexi who like traveling, reading, and good designs. Over to you, Toastmaster Prakash.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajeshwari. Good morning, good afternoon all. Welcome to Technopark Toastmasters Open House meeting. Before getting into the meeting, I would like to start with a small story. This is a children's story called There Is No Such Thing as a Dragon by Jack Kent. It is a very simple tale. A small boy, Billy, woke up one morning and found a dragon in his room. It was about the size of a kitten and it was friendly. He told his mom about this and his mother replied, "There is no such thing as..." The dragon starts to grow. It eats all of Billy's pancakes. The dragon started growing fast. It became huge. But Billy's mother always said, "There is no such thing as a dragon." Soon it started filling the house. The dragon has become so huge that it is part of nook and corner of that house. One day, the dragon ran down the street after a bakery truck, carrying Billy's house along with it, like a shell on top of a snail. When Billy's father came home, couldn't find his house. He searched and finally found the house. He joined with his family and asked, "How did this happen?" He said it was the dragon, but his mother said, "There is no such thing as a dragon." But Billy insisted, "There is a dragon, a very big one." Finally, everyone acknowledged the presence of a dragon. And the dragon suddenly became so smart. This story represents a lot of things, but more importantly, about problems. If you leave a problem unattended, it will not go away. It will become a mess, particularly in relationships. Today, that's what we are going to focus. Before that, let me officially open this meeting. And I would ask all the guests to unmute yourself and come on video and maybe introduce about yourself in 30 seconds to 1 minute.
Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz Parveen from Pit Solutions.
Hello Tanaz.
Nice to meet you all.
Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Bhavana Stanley. I work in talent management in IBS. software in Trivandrum, Technopark campus. I have about 25 years of experience. And this is the first time I'm attending a Toastmasters meeting. I've heard the name a couple of times. So I thought, let me get in and see what it's all about. Looking
welcome, Anoop. Thanks for joining.
Hey everyone, I'm Siva from Ozontel, from HR department.
Hello, Siva. Welcome.
I'll go. My name is Anoop Nair. I have total of around 18 years of experience now in in-app to client delivery. So Toastmasters I have heard before. When I was in Capgemini, I think 10-15 years back, I got into Toastmaster classes. But after that, I've got a lot of prompts from Toastmasters to join, but maybe never took the initiative to join the classes. Even I'm a member of PMI Kerala. I think there are also programs that is happening with Toastmaster with PMI. But I think never got a kind of an initiative myself to join in. But today, I think Valentine's Day, good reason, so that joined and got a free slot. So thanks again, Toastmasters, to arrange this. Thank you. And Anoop Kumar, who has put the referrals as such for Toastmasters and LinkedIn. Thank you.
Welcome, Anoop. Thanks for joining. Happy to hear that.
Hi, everyone. This is Atul. I am working as a product manager with Hashdin by Deloitte in Bangalore. So I was also a Suntechian, so I could see few familiar faces in here. Anoop, Rajeshwari, Arathi, and all. Yeah, I've seen and been part of Toastmasters while I was in college during my MBA 5-6 years back. It's good to see a different kind of a chapter where I'm expecting much more fun and exciting talks ahead. Thank you. Thank you all.
Welcome. Welcome, Atul.
Yeah, hello all. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dinesh. I am from Ozontel, compliance team professionally, and sitting in Hyderabad. I've heard before about the Toastmaster Club before, but today I got the opportunity to officially join with the help of Radhika, our HR manager, and I'm glad. Good to see all of you here. Looking forward for the next upcoming activities. Thank you.
Welcome, Dinesh. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Radhika. Okay, you can.
Yeah. So I'll go. So my name is Sajal Mishra, and I also like Dinesh. I also work at Ozontel. I work in database, and I'm a business analyst. And thanks to Radhika, for introducing us to Toastmasters. I've heard about Toastmasters from my college days a little bit, but yeah, it's like my first time being in the session with all of you. So thank you, and let's hope for the best.
Welcome.
Hello, hi. So I'm Vishodaya. I am from Ozontel. I'm from the HR department. Actually, Radhika has and me were like talking about this Toastmasters since a while, but I didn't get a chance to be to get to know about this and to be a part of this. Radhika introduced this one, so I'm very excited to be part of this.
Welcome, Vishodaya.
Thank you so much.
So you can put your name in chat and tell me about yourself in chat as well. So with that, let me officially open this meeting, and we are getting into this meeting, which basically focuses on communication and the importance of that in a more general way. And we have today Toastmaster Arathi, a seasoned Toastmaster who is currently working as Associate Vice President at Suntech, who is a fitness enthusiast, one who collects bills as a hobby. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakash. Very happy to see a big house, a house full here. Today, I will be the Toastmaster of the day. The Toastmaster of the day is someone like an MC, And with me today is also a Toastmaster, Maria. Maria, I would ask you to be on video and be on standby. I have a little small speech to give, and then I'll be calling you. So my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, how many of you joined today because it's Valentine's Day related theme? Can I have a show of emoticons? Hey, Jayant, I can see you. Some show of hands, Radhika. Only Toastmasters joined because it is Valentine's Day special. Yeah, Atul joined. Yes, very good. And how many of you joined because it's a Toastmaster meeting? Anoop Nair, yes, I acknowledge. How many of you joined because it's Toastmasters? Very good. I guess a lot of people joined because it's Toastmasters and not because it is Valentine's Day. So we will we'll make sure that we have enough content to keep all of you encouraged and glued here. It's your lunch time. Some of you are still in office, sneaking out this time before your manager sees this. I have calls coming from my manager, but all right. So first of all, a happy Valentine's Day to you. Can all of you unmute and please wish me back?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, Arathi.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Happy Valentine's
Missing you in office.
Happy Valentine's Day
you
to
did not see
everyone
me
here.
No, I didn't. Nor did you see me here.
All right. So thank you so much. Feedback is very important, right? Otherwise, I would feel bored delivering this to you as much as you would feel bored listening to me. So today being Valentine's Day and being the way that we are, I opened up ChatGPT in the morning and asked Chat, how do I wish my husband a happy Valentine's Day? So that is the stage where I have reached, so lazy. And I expect Chat to solve all problems for me. And Chat told me, write a heartfelt message in a Valentine's Day card, hug him, say, I love you, and just give the card. Or two, you cook and bake for him and express your love. Me being me, then I asked back, will he cook back in return for me? You know what Chat said? I being an AI process language model, I cannot predict your husband's action. Neither can I, by the way. But if you tell your husband, if you communicate your desire that it means a lot to you if he baked in return, there is a chance that he will do it. So ask him directly. Wow, what a profound advice. Isn't that what life coaches tell us? There is no better way than to attack a problem than by facing it directly. Hold a bull by its horns. Right? Now, if you take that lighter side away in our life, in a personal life, in a professional life, how many times have we given up opportunities because we have not spoken up, not spoken right when it was required? I have. Many times when I drive back from office, I think, oh, I should have spoken up. When I drive back from PTA meeting, I think, oh, I had a better idea, I should have spoken up. And it is not then that you should have the thought that you should have spoken up. You should have had it when it was ongoing. And that is where Toastmasters is going to help you, if you help yourselves. Now, I want to share one incident when we had to ask a client about a favor, kind of asking for a letter, and they didn't have to actually do it. So I was very reluctant to ask it. But my manager said, if you don't even ask, you start with 0% chance. If you ask, you have 50% chance of getting it. So that's the thought that I always have. If I don't ask, I never have it. My chance, I start at a 0. What is there to lose? We say, Poyal oruaka kittiyalo. Poyal uti, kittiyal uti lengi chatti. All right. So with that thought, it's always speak up when you get a chance. Now, you know how I think when you see my desperation that I have to ask ChatGPT about what to do on Valentine's Day. Let's take a fresh breath, invite Maria over Toastmaster Maria, my co-TMOD, to tell us, enlighten us with how the world thinks on Toastmasters Day. Over to the young and cherubic Maria, Toastmaster, and from HNR block.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arathi. Now, Valentine's Day, a day filled with love, red roses, yellow roses, color codes, everywhere. It's love in the air. But do you know there are some people who have butterflies in their stomach, to an extent an entire zoo in their stomach, because this is that day when they're going to propose their loved ones. Might be a yes, might be a no. And what counts is the way they do it, the process that they woo their partner. Okay, this term was used back in the 1890s or something of that sort, but still, the way they propose to their partner or their loved one and make them say a yes, to persuade them in just this much amount of time. And I've seen many people fail miserably at that just because that much part was not ready. Now, what is the connection with Toastmasters? Today, if I ask you to share your Valentine's Day story where you proposed and you were successful at it, we might have a lot of stories. We might have a lot of successful stories. We might have a little bit of heartbreak stories. But I ensure you, after you join Toastmasters, no, I won't say that you will get a Valentine, but next year you will have a memorable Valentine's Day because you will be able to say that this much portion with beautiful confidence. You had a lot of confidence. You had beautiful vocabulary. Your loved one, maybe your wife or your husband, they might be very surprised. Like, last year, this was not the case. This year, it is so artistic. You might just have just one or two lines of poem. Or if you're ready, you're waiting to propose somebody. Let me tell you that this platform gives you the confidence to speak in front of anyone, irrespective of the person who is there in front of you. It can be the CEO of the company. It can be a loud one. It doesn't matter. It will be like a normal Toastmaster session. Go right there and you speak your heart out. And you will be perfectly fine with it. The confidence, the courage to do that, and the added advantage of having good language, being with the grammarian or the evaluator who helps you out during the session is going to help you a lot, not just in your professional life, as well as in your personal life. So I hope the next time we meet, next Valentine's Day when we meet, we'll have a lot of stories to say, yes, I proposed this person and it was just this short, or I told my husband that I love him, or my wife, I love her in a very, very unique manner. And I didn't have to shiver, or I didn't have that butterflies in my stomach or no zoo in my stomach. So with that being said, thank you so much, Toastmaster Arathi. Let me now call upon the general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Dev Balaji.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Maria and Arathi. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'm playing the role of a general evaluator. To all the people who have joined as a guest, it may sound what is this role is going to be about. As you have seen in any of your movie, before the movie comes, there is a teaser. And nowadays in YouTube, you see a review of a teaser, right from the teaser to the movie, and each and every role players are being reviewed. Everyone does the review. And same is my role. My role has started right at the start of the meeting. Before that itself, I'm going to evaluate each and every role taker today, possibly each and every person who has spoken today. So I'm not going to do this role alone. I have my team called a tag team. So let me call upon the team. So T stands for timer. And today this role is going to be played by someone who likes to dance. She's interested in acting, and she's an HR practitioner. And I asked her this question. Have you ever seen in a place where honesty doesn't work? She gives a best reply. She says that there are groups where I face a situation where we being true, where if we speak up, will not be mattered. But there are places where everyone likes to have that honesty. And in that place, honesty really helps us to grow. So this person, Timer, is going to be Eustine Thomas. Let me welcome Timer to explain the role.
Thank you so much, Dev. Greetings, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So as you know, the role of a timer is to ensure the meeting is conducted within the scheduled timeline. From the start till the end, timer will monitor the time for each meeting segments and each speakers. This helps the speaker also to their speeches are on the track. Now, When it comes to all the sessions like prepared speeches, table topic speakers, and evaluations, I will have the timer. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using a green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining depending on their speeches. This will help us to finish our meetings on time. Now, for table topics, the speaker will have their limitation to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll show the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'll show the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I'll show the red card. And you will have a grace period of 30 seconds to wind up, for which the red card remains the same. And this will be displayed until you finish and hand over to the next person. Now, for a typical prepared speech, there will be 5 to 7 minutes in length, and 5 minutes, I'll show the green card. 6 minutes, I'll show you the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I'll show the red card. And there will be icebreaker speeches where you'll have 4 minutes, I'll show the green card. 5 minutes, I'll show you the yellow card, and 6 minutes, I'll show the red card. Now, for the individual evaluations, there would be 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes, I'll show the green card. 30 seconds, I'll show the yellow card. And 3 minutes, I'll show you the red card. I hope now you all know that why my colors behind my screen changes. I'm not just changing it purposefully. This is to show and indicate, okay, your times is this much. So thank you so much, and to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for clearly explaining the role. Let us all respect our background screen so that we can all have lunch on time. So moving on to the next role. This role is called as R-counter role. And this person today, especially I want to appreciate him because he has pulled in so many people to this group. And I really congratulate for that effort. And he's the consulting manager at Oracle. Please put your hand as I welcome Toastmaster Anoop Kumar, who is going to play the role of R-counter. Anoop, the screen is yours.
Greetings, Toastmaster Dev, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The role and purpose of R-counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks during the session. It is quite interesting to note that filler words are mostly unintentional and used subconsciously to fill the space or time while the speaker is thinking of the main message. However, if you think, mostly these have a negative effect and reflect poorly on one's communication skills. If we were to really think of an analogy, it is similar to driving on a road with a bump that takes away the pleasure of driving, right? So during this meeting, I will listen for unused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know, these sort of words. I will also listen for filler sounds, including the I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times each speaker used these expressions. Thank you everyone for joining today, and Toastmaster Dev, back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anoop. So on a lighter note, let us make so many ahs and nooms so that Anoop is fully occupied throughout the meeting. So moving on to the G, it is called as Grammarian, and this person has a lot of experience, 15 years of IT experience, and she's head of delivery in PIT solutions. And this person likes to travel, let us say in train or flight, with a romantic novel in hand, and with a chessboard and a good company to play a game of chess. So these are our hobbies, our passion. So let me call Toastmaster Jazna to explain the role of Grammarian.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dev. To be frank, I forgot that it was Valentine's Day until Arathi mentioned about asking ChatGPT, what should I do? On that note, I was thinking maybe after this, I'll pluck a rose from the garden and go and tell my husband Happy Valentine's Day and tell him next time it is your job to wish me first. Coming back to the point, I'd like to wish all of you all a good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to your language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding quotes, words, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce you to the word of the day, which I will do so shortly by sharing my screen. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day as much as possible. Whenever you speak about it, I'll take a note of it and I'll also present it towards the end of the meeting. Let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. Right? Okay.
Yes.
So word of the day is alacrity, meaning brisk and cheerful readiness. The sentence usage can be, Smith accepted the invitation with alacrity, or she rose with alacrity and moved away. Or we have a beautiful list of guests today who've joined us with alacrity, and it would be great to get you guys to join right after. I will share this on the chat. I wish all of you all keep using this word as much as possible today. And like I said, there'll be a grammarian report at the end of the meeting. Thank you, everybody. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jazna. I think she explained the role with alacrity. So mark me as one count. So with that, I hope everyone will have next 1 hour. It's going to be fun as well as learning. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Arathi.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Dev, for explaining beautifully the roles that we will be carrying out today. And all the role players for explaining why this is important. I think the importance will be visible when we wait till the end and see the feedback from these role players. Jazna, that is indeed a very difficult word, alacrity. I hope I can use it with alacrity at some point. It's very difficult, but thank you for choosing that word. Maybe we will get used to it. Now let us move on to the next segment. So we have done all the prerequisites. Now we will move on to our education session. I would invite Toastmaster Radhika to tell us very quickly about what Toastmasters is, because we have lots of people here who do not know what Toastmasters is. Now, Radhika is heading HR function at Ozone Hotel based out of Hyderabad, and she is a very active member of VE Women in IT. She is a champion for diversity inclusion, and she loves a debate any day. So Radhika, over to you very briefly for our fellow guests here to introduce them into the world of Toastmasters. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Arathi, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A pleasure presenting Toastmasters International, where leaders are made. Wow, that's a profound statement, isn't it? How do we make leaders in a meeting or in a group, a cohort of like-minded people? So this is likened to going to a gym where, everybody would like to do some exercise for their muscles, the muscle power, create that muscle power, build that strength and stamina. Similarly, on a Valentine's Day, we all need that tender love and care for our heart, isn't it? It is not just for the Valentine's Day, it has to be a habit which is repeated over and again. The tender love and care for the heart, gym or exercise for the body, and for the brain. If we have a very empowering and enabling group of people who will help you speak up, fine-tune your communication skills, fine-tune your leadership skills, what more do you want? So that is, and we all know that we are what we repeatedly do. I have this theory of 10,000 hours of practice. That makes anyone a Sachin Tendulkar or an A.R. Rahman or a Shashi Tharoor. You need that 10,000 hours of practice to become what you want to be. So let us look at how our Toastmaster meeting is formatted. You have seen all the role players here, the Toastmaster of the day and what she does, the MC. And then you listen to the general evaluator who is going to keenly listen to what is happening and observe things and give us the report. And the tag team, I love the counter job. How are you going to count all the filler words and the repeated usages? And the timer, very important and critically important for me because, I did have this habit of speaking on and on and on. I did not know how to have this punchy climax or that ending with a punchy dialogue or a punchy climax. That is where I failed, and Toastmaster is helping me fine-tune that shortcoming and then overcome that. So then we do have the grammarian who is going to tell us what is a good usage of word, phrase, and all that. Speech evaluator, table topic evaluator is also they are also part of the evaluation team. Table topic master, you have not yet met that person, but that is going to be the icing on the cake when everyone in this group of guests would get an opportunity to speak up on any topic. So my story of being in Toastmasters, it helped me open up. I used to have a lot of thoughts buzzing in my brain. And when I'm articulating, I saw that it was overlapping. I was not able to communicate with clarity, but the practice has improved my skill over the past 2 years. And I'm confident that I will be able to become at least 10% of Shashi Tharoor someday in future. That is my aspiring role or aspiring goal. So the big picture, you as a Toastmaster, and you have a club, and then you become a part of the club, and then there are a couple of clubs in that area, and areas become the division, and division become the district and your region. There are a lot of competitions, contests coming up at the division level, district level, where you will be able to be part of, win trophies, and then bring glory to your club. There are pathways. You can log into the Toastmaster International portal, and when you're a member, you have access to all these pathways. These pathways give you step-by-step progress in whatever you are achieved or whatever your aspirational goal is. So, and then the most important question, what does it cost me? It costs you probably a veg extravaganza or a spicy zinger fries or a trip on Ola. So $45 for a 6 months membership. That will translate, it will fluctuate depending on the dollar rate. But when you are investing this, what you get is a regular gym, a membership to a gym, where you will be doing this exercise to your brain. And you will be able to achieve your goal to become a leader, future leader. If you have questions, stay back. At the end of the session, we will have a Q&A where all your questions related to Toastmaster and the membership format will be discussed. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Arathi.
Thank you, Radhika. Very well explained, very simply put, very put together in a very fun format. I'm sure that is enough for all the guests to get a quick idea, bird's eye view of what happens in a Toastmaster meeting. So that was Radhika from Ozone Hotel explaining about the Toastmasters benefits. Now we move on to our next segment. In any typical meeting, there would be a table topic session. And that is the highlight of our meeting because that is where we have fun. It is said that we learn best in our moments of enjoyment. And table topics is where you practice in between some fun and enjoyment. And today, to host the next segment, we have Toastmaster Bhavana. Some of you might have already interacted with her. Bhavana is a seasoned communication professional working in IBS software. She's a very smart, artistic, energetic, and a very nice person. I've known Bhavana for a long time. And she also writes well. She has a lovely pet that she keeps an online update of, and we all love to listen to her. And so today she will be hosting the table topic session. With that note, I hand over the session to Bhavana. It's all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arathi, for the peakery introduction. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. With Alacrity, I nodded in agreement when Toastmaster Prakash asked me to be the table topics master for the Valentine's Day special open house session today. So, and soon after, following Prakash's ping was VP Education, Toastmaster Arathi, taking me through a training program on how I can complete level 3 through the session. So all I was thinking about was topics for Valentine's Day, and here she comes with all the learning opportunities that I'm going to get with it. And it was like an examination fear for me yesterday night after she took the session for me. But jokes apart, Toastmasters is all about learning and growing. Every little role you take up on a Toastmasters meeting make you a better speaker the next time. So table topics is one of the most exciting portions of the Toastmasters meeting, I would say. The main objective is to challenge members to develop their impromptu communication skills by giving them a topic to think on their feet and speak on. As it is Valentine's Day, and while love is in the air, there are people who are talking about giving roses to their husband and all that. We are taking a different route over here. I thought, why not have some fun associated with it? Well, not all is fun in love, isn't it? Love is all about taking up, speaking up, opening up, shutting up at times, giving up, making up, and a whole lot more of ups. It's not just, so if you're ready to up your ante in impromptu speaking with these table topics, which will be put up on a slide, and it is all about ups. What you have to do is, you just have to raise your hand. We will put you on spotlight. I will show you a slide where you will have a word or a phrase and a small description about it, which I thought works well, but you are in no compulsion to use that expression, what I have described over there. Whatever comes to your mind first, when you hear that phrase or that word, just grab your thoughts, speak on. Speak on about your life, about your professional self. If it is about your love story, we'll be more than eager to hear about it. Or simply cook up a story right here on Toastmasters and just say it. So the choice is entirely yours. And like Toastmaster Eustine had covered in her introduction, for table topics, your response must be at least 1 minute. It cannot be more than 2 minutes. So you will see a green signal after 1 minute. After 1.5 minutes, you will see a yellow signal, and dot at 2 minutes, you will see a red signal. I also encourage you to use the word of the day, Alacrity, if it works well with your speech, but that should not be stopping you from, coming up and speaking over here. So let's get started. I will just share my screen in a bit, and you can volunteer, or we will call your names, whichever works for you. Arathi, please confirm if you are able to see my screen.
Can see.
Okay. So this is all about ups. Blow up, shut up, open up, get up, speak up, give up, make up, set up, take up. So who is going to come first? And I will tell you what you get. Maybe one of the Toastmasters, if you could start up, the guests would get a hang of how it happens. Toastmaster. Because I'm sharing the screen, I'm not able to see everybody. Can someone help me with volunteering, please? Toastmasters.
Anoop Kumar.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's a different kind of volunteering, sorry.
VP Education. I could not have asked more from you. So Anoop, this is the word, the phrase for you. Show up. First date or first day at a job, something messy that happened with you where you showed up and embarrassed yourself, if there is any account.
Okay.
Or you can, use up whatever show up brings to your mind first.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to go back in memory related to the first day of my job, 18 years back. This was when I actually got the offer letter from an organization in Technopark. I prepared for the last 7 days coming to the date. I prepared very hard. I came down to the city, a new city at that point of time, got arranged here with all what I could, and was actually ready to be in Technopark on the same day. Being myself, I planned almost 1 hour early to reach the place because it was the first day at the job. And so that I can actually show up with Alacrity in front of the HR manager. But finally, what I came to know is that I almost missed at least 2 buses before I reached the bus stop. Finally, somehow I actually took an auto, reached the place to find that almost 20 people were there in the room, and I was the last one to join. So this is one time I would say I would dread any kind of an opportunity where I would have actually planned and planned to reach there probably an hour earlier, but I actually ended up actually being the last in the room. So nowadays, I would not plan 7 days ahead. I would actually plan at least a day ahead and ensure that I actually do it much gleefully than what I actually did on that day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anoop. In fact, I relate to this so well because my first day attending the interview at IBS Software, I missed my bus. I took another bus which actually broke down near Kalampalli. And I was so new to this Karakutam area and all that. I caught an auto, went to, caught another bus, went to Karakutam, then caught an auto, got to Nila. I was 30 to 40 minutes late for my test. And so I could relate so well with you on that. And it was really, that was your first day in office. For me, it was my interview day and it was horrible. But then somehow I managed to get through to the last 3 and here I am with IBS for the last 22 years. So thank you very much, Anu, for that wonderful opening up, the showing up of your embarrassment, which is probably not in your hand because of the vehicle, the commute and all that. Thank you so much. Who is going up next? Thank you, Tanaz. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
Your word is open up. The warmth allowed me to open up. It felt lighter after I poured my heart out. If there is someone who encouraged you to open up, please go on. Whatever comes to your mind first. Thank you, Tanaz.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tanaz. So just background, I'm not from Kerala. I'm from Assam. And when I got this job with Alacrity, I moved to moved to Kerala to explore what this job has to offer me. And a lot of things were different here. First of all, the language. So I'm the only one from the north side in my office. So the language is different. But at first, whenever I felt sad or upset, I was missing my home. Everyone opened up to me. Everyone gave me that environment where I could open up to them. I could express myself that, okay, I am vulnerable now. I am feeling sad and I'm missing home. And I could actually accept the fact that, yeah, it's okay to miss home. You are away. Before, I was not thinking like I could be this homesick. But after staying 3,000 kilometers away, I could feel, okay, I miss my mom's food. I miss everything when I'm sick, or no one is there to talk or to say nice things when I was here. All those things I missed, but at the same time, it gave me a very broad perspective that I'm so independent, that I am capable of doing these things on my own. I was so dependent on so many things on other people, but now I'm able to do everything on my own. So with Alacrity, I come to office every day, meet new people, and also travel in Kerala. Kerala is a very beautiful place to be in. So I treat myself whenever I feel sad. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tanaz. Don't feel left out. I mean, totally understand that you're missing your home. I was just picking up a word for thank you in Assamese while you were speaking. Dhonoba, is that how you say? You will love Kerala. It's just a start. There are so many places to go. People are very nice. Join Toastmasters.
Yeah.
Tell us,
Sure.
talk to us, and we will be there for you always. Thank you so much.
Thank
Who
you.
is going next? Hi, Binu. Let me share my screen. That's for you, Binu. Take up something that is challenging, but you took it up and completed in good time.
Okay. Thank you, Bhavana. And it's a surprise. I did not intend to join Toastmasters at all. Although I may show an image of being extra confident and stuff like that, I actually am not all that confident. So I heard about Toastmasters. I wanted to do it. But then today when I saw the IBS mail, so thanks to Bhavana, I'm here. So you're responsible for my presence. Bhavana, that reminds me, can you just show me the screen again? Let me see what's the word. So I hope to speak.
Open up. It's take up. Taking
yeah.
up a challenge. I mean, it was a challenge that you completed in good time.
Yeah. So I hope I am able to speak up with a lot of alacrity. And yes, taking up challenges is something that I love to do. I was afraid of water, so I took up swimming to learn how to swim, because I always feared that I would drown. I was a person who never even used to take a shower, right? I used to use the bucket and mug because I used to hate the feel of water on my face. But I took up swimming. I did pretty okay with it. I had a very bad lung capacity. So Bhavana, I've told you about this before, right? I had very bad lung capacity. So I always used to get nightmares that I couldn't run. You know, I had to run for some reason, and that I pant and I fall down. So I took up running, and I've done a half marathon. So these are challenges that I take up, and I love taking up challenges. Just 2 days back, I needed to do some work with Excel numbers, pages, and Word, which needed to be some data needed to be transitioned. It was on a personal work, transition from between Mac and Windows, and I managed to do it. And that's something that I love to do. So I am looking forward to being very active in Toastmasters International and taking up more challenges. And I hope I've spoken with a lot of alacrity. Thank you.
You did. Thank you very much, Binu. And what a word or phrase that you got, take up. And I knew that you would actually talk about your running the marathon. And by the way, Binu is going to run half marathon for the GTech marathon as well, which is coming up soon on March 19th, if I'm not mistaken.
I will be participating, Bhavana, but I'm not sure whether I'll run because I'm right now suffering from some injuries. But yeah, I will be participating and I'll complete it. That's what I know.
Yes, like compared to people like me who walk in a marathon, I think you will do much better. So I'll see you there, Binu. Thank you very much for your time. Well spoken. Next up, Vinita, I see your hand raised. Thank you so much for volunteering.
Okay. Hi.
This is what you get, speaker. Some instance where you decided that you must speak up and express your difference of opinion or dissent.
So thank you, Bhavana, for this topic. So I'm going to take it up with Alacrity. Okay, so I think speak up is something like today's meeting itself. Arathi was talking about that we should learn to speak up about different things. So I think that is a very good example. And suddenly I'm not remembering an incident, but let me just try to think. So I can say that especially when we are in the IT companies, I can see that there might be a lot of discussions and a lot of meetings, but people are sometimes hesitant to talk about things or to speak up. So there is a good technique that you can do when you are in discussions to make sure that your points are heard. So actually, I had read it in a book from Dale Carnegie. So it's this technique of how to make people listen to you. So in that, what he's saying that if there is a discussion, what you can do is you can wait for the whole meeting room for everybody to speak their points. And in the end, at the last, you can speak up your points. So this gives you two advantages. The first one is that everybody feels like you're listening to them. So that makes them feel appreciated, and like everybody wants to feel respected and appreciated. So they are also more, happy, especially if you're the boss or if you're the team leader or something. They'll be more happy to listen to you when you say a point. And the second thing is, once you listen to everybody's opinion, sometimes you can see that you get a solution for the problem, or you get a better idea of what to tell and solve that problem. So maybe if I can listen to 5 people's opinion and then speak up, instead of maybe randomly just saying my opinions, that will maybe help to solve the problem. So that is one thing. And another thing is, sometimes I've seen that maybe it is the stand-up calls, that we always have stand-up calls, and sometimes my team of developers or testers, they are a little bit afraid to speak, say their points, because they're just worried that they might be wrong. But just like in the beginning of the meeting, like Arathi mentioned, when you speak up, you have 50% chance, otherwise you have 0. So that's why I think that every time you want something, that you should always speak up, so you have a 50% chance getting your wish. Thank you.
Well spoken, Vinita. Thank you so much. And I love the way you started off, because that's what Toastmaster has been teaching us as well, that you need to take a moment, think about what you're going to speak, prepare yourself, and then the way that you came out, and there's so much of learning in that 2 minutes that you spoke. Thank you very much for that. Who is going next?
Any guest? Atul, Anoop Nair?
Yeah, I can go.
Atul, thank you so much, Atul. Your word, your face is 1 moment. Let me share my screen. Blow up.
Oh.
An instance where you lost your temper and you're happy about it, or you're sad about it.
Okay.
Either way is fine.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So there was a moment a couple of weeks back which made me blow up. I have somebody in this group has already witnessed that also. So, so it was so the story is about a recent winter trek which I took up. It was Kedarkantha in Uttarakhand. So we were taking this Ardennes very challenging trek. But the day before the summit, one thing which we realized was the trek leaders or the trekking group which we were with were not ready to take up to the summit, while the other groups were doing so. And then we realized there was certain lack of planning which was happening from their end in terms of providing us with the right gear to do the summit or make up to the summit. So what we tried was, then among the group, we internally discussed, is there anything which we can do about it? Can we reach the summit even without their help, by talking to any other trekking groups? Because we have made it this far, like we have traveled thousands of kilometers, stayed in harsh conditions, and then decide to take up this challenge, which was like once in a lifetime experience for many of us. Most of us trekking the first time, doing the winter trek the first time, experiencing snow first time. So that making the summit was something which was very symbolic to the most of the group. So what we decided was, we will take the help of other trekking leaders or other trekking guides and make up to the summit. And then we'll come back and then deal with the trekking group, which we've already planned to. So when we had that discussion, it actually blowed up. Obviously, words were exchanged. It actually became a heated exchange when we realized what went wrong, what went right. Obviously, most of us didn't want to make a scene out there, but it happened. One thing was actually, post that heated exchange or the discussion or the blow up, we had a communication back from the trekking team's head office, stating that what went wrong, how they can help us, what could be the remedies taken, how they could better arrange a safer travel back. So yeah, well, that's one thing which happened very recently, 2 weeks back, which I would like to share. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Atul. And glad that you remember that. Because at times what happens is when you blow up, you don't even remember that you were like that. But now you know that, you could have handled it better, or it was the right way of handling it, and you remember that. So thank you so much for that beautiful story, and we'll come back to you later for Uttarakhand, learning how to get there, how to go there. I've been planning for 2 years, but then never got to doing it yet.
Definitely. Happy to help.
Atul.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Up next is Dinesh. I see your hand raised. Let me share your screen. Thank you, Dinesh. Okay. For you, it's give up. I might win, I might lose, but I will never give up the fight. So tell us something, an account from your life.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. First of all, I joined this group with great Alacrity. See, as I spoke it a bit wrong because this is the first time I'm using the word. Let me be frank on that.
No problem at all.
Yeah. See, here I didn't give up, but I still took up and I spoke it out. So every incident, every speaker, whoever is speaking here, I'm connected to every incident of or every topic. Let it be travel. I traveled a lot. I did my solo traveling. When somebody talks about adventure, I have done some Himalayan treks. I'm a outdoor leader. And somebody talks about food, I'm definitely, we are not getting enough time to prepare our content. When I got this topic, it is just like instant coffee. Just mix a coffee and share it. So let me also give one example of my one hardest trek. If you have heard about Stock Kangri in the Himalayan region, that is considered as 70% of the Himalayan Mount Everest range. So being an outdoor leader, I did not I have initiated this trek. Okay, I mean, I have invited applications from the members, and I did not get the approval from the my club leadership. So before when the date is arriving, I had taken the invitation. I mean, applications. I have prepared the team. We have a one rock here nearby, wherein I took 2 months for preparing everybody. At the time of initiating our trek, our journey, there we got a red flag from our leadership, just because they are not aware of how we have prepared. And I even have a 55-year-old gentleman in my group, so it is really tough taking him to that trek. But then after a lot of preparation, I didn't want to give up on that. So fortunately, I have achieved 100% summit in that, which my group, even my club didn't do it before. And I was able to achieve with everybody's support and with a lot of alacrity. I came back and my club has recognized me for that. And I'm happy to share that incident, and thanks for giving me this chance.
Oh, congratulations for that 100%. And thank you so much for giving up your account over here and your attitude of not giving up. Thank you so much, Dinesh. Well spoken. Who is up next? Do we have the timer?
No, I think.
Done. Time out.
Yes, we are done with the time.
All right. Thank you so much, Eustine. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Arathi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavana. That was really 15 to 20 minutes of great fun. You forced all of us to, one, use the word of the day, speak about the word that you actually wanted people to think about and open up. And they did that pretty well. For first timers who have been here, I think a round of applause to you who have done it for the first time. Great job, Bhavana. When I gave you this role, when Prakash gave you this role, you took it up with alacrity. Very happy for you. But then I bombarded you with rules. Then you came back saying that I am a big taskmaster, headmistress. And I was feeling a little upset, but you have done it so well, Bhavana. Now I would like to credit myself that even though being a taskmaster, I did not scare you. Thank you so much, Bhavana. Well done. And now let us get to the next part, the feedback part, which is where we learn so much from Toastmasters. All of us who are comfortable speaking, all of us who are not comfortable speaking, there are a few words that are our favorite. We do not know. We are blindsided when it comes to some of the words. I, for myself, know that I string all my sentences with an and. I keep on adding and unnecessarily. And I learned this when I got my feedback from Toastmasters. So today, let me invite back General Evaluator Dev Balaji. Dev Balaji is a business analyst from TCS. He's very passionate about a lot of things, including badminton and public speaking. A brand new dad. He's having the time of his life now. Over to you, Dev, for the next session, the evaluations and feedback.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arathi. I've never seen someone explaining dad with brand new. Thank you for that. So let's go ahead with the report, starting with how far we are good with the timing. So let me call upon timer for the day. So timer Eustine to present the report.
Hello, everyone. So, so far now we are up with the timing. Everybody was doing good. The intro speech was just 1 minute. We were out of the time, and our evaluation tag team also took 2 minutes extra. Other than that, all education session was 5.29 seconds. Table topic intro was 3.24, and all the table topic speakers except Dinesh just took 10 seconds extra. Other than that, all covered within the time limit given. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for the report. So we have to applaud ourselves that we are in time, despite being a long session. So moving on to the next report, let me call upon the R counter for the day. How far we are at R's and rooms. Toastmaster Anoop, you present your report.
Yeah, thanks, Toastmaster Dev. So I must admit that this was a much better meeting than in terms of the R counter report than many of our Toastmaster meets every week. Starting with TM Radhika, I found 2 repetitions. I've noted 2 repetitions of and I being used. Coming to Bhavana for the table topics, pretty much a flat line, but there was a filler word of being used 3 times. Coming to Tanas, pretty much a good report. Usage of like and so 2 times. Coming to Binu, it was a flat line. I have not noted any R counters or pauses or fillers or repetition throughout the speech. So very well done. Vinita, pause of being used 1 time and so being repeated twice. Atul, being used and being used 5 times. Coming to Dinesh, pauses of being used and being used a lot of times. Thank you, Dev. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anoop, for that report. Hope we know now where we are. So applause to all those people who didn't make any filler words. Moving on to the Grammarian for the day to present her report. Toastmaster Jazna, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dev. I have to say we have an impeccable group of speakers here, all seasoned ones to be frank, and all jumped in with alacrity. And to be frank, we have almost everybody in here who's used the word of the day today. I was a little worried when Arathi told me the word was very difficult, but it was like excellent. Word of the day was used by Arathi, Dev, Bhavana, Anoop, Tanas twice, Binu twice, Vinita, Dinesh twice. So that is just great, literally great. About good usages, Aarti, hold the bull by its horn, bird's eye view. Those were the good usages from her. Maria, I like the way you said woo their partner. Dave, all your, I didn't find any grammatical errors and everything was like continuous in all the speeches that, in all the discussions that you were participating in. Radhika, cohort, and punchy climax. I like the punchy part of that bit. And I also like the fact that you wanted to become at least 10% of Shashi Thiru. That was really interesting. And all the speakers for today, Anoop Kumar, Tanas, Bino, Vinita, Atul, Dinesh, everybody. The main thing is usually when I give my grammarian report, I always have a set of positives and I have a set of negatives. I couldn't find any grammatical mistakes in most of the speakers, so I'll go very generically. And Pinu, to be specific, I like the way that you mentioned about taking up all those challenges and you went for one after the other and bringing in good examples. So that was very inspiring. Tanas, I'm sure Kerala will become much more interesting to you over the time.
It is interesting to me. It is interesting.
Okay, cool. Vinita, like Bhavana was mentioning earlier, I like the way that you took the pause, prepared yourself and jumped right in and gave a very interesting talk. So that was beautiful. Atul, usage of the word symbolic along with the rest of your speech, that was very nice. Dinesh, I like the way that you mentioned about instant coffee, comparing this to that. That was like really nice. Also, maybe like Arathi was mentioning earlier, your common usage word is, you try to string the sentences with that. So maybe you can keep that in mind. And just one thing that I noted, happy to share that instant you said, it was actually incident. So that was the one usage that I noted. Overall, it was very beautifully said by everybody. Thank you very much, and back to you, Toastmaster Dev.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jazna, for that report. So moving on, let me present my report. Let me share my screen. I have 5 minutes for me, but as we are running late, I'll go through the report also quite fastly. Hope you can see my screen. So starting with overall, we have agenda and ready. Role plays were in place before the meeting. And then especially I want to thank 3 people, Anoop, Radhika, Rajeshwari, as well as Bhavana, because they inspired and motivated. We never expected 29 people to join on a working day afternoon. So kudos to them for motivating and inspiring their team members to join today's meeting. Then slightly a feedback for every role player. So wherever you get a chance, you try to upload, maybe unmute and upload, or a quick shout out so that the energy level can be a little bit increased. Moving on to the first role player, Surgeon at Arms. So she was very clear to all the guests who might not know what is in for us. So she clearly explained the rules of Toastmaster, what we are supposed to speak, what we are not supposed to speak. Very clear on that. Maybe a bit of clap as I told to get that energy, and maybe a high contact. Like as you can see, we read from like this, it bits disconnect. Whereas if I see and read through the web camera, it connects a lot. So maybe work on that part, Ishwari. Moving on to our presidential address, Toastmaster Prakash. Always he makes sure that he has a story. So I really love that story, and maybe a bit faster, but this message of the story, attend to unattended problems. Maybe it is universal. Everyone can take out of it. And the way he showed his gratitude to each guest was very appreciable. And introducing the Toastmaster of the day, what they do better, their personal passion, telling more about them is a good way of introducing Toastmaster of the day. On the areas to improve, I felt the storytelling was a bit faster. So as soon as you got the control, you were running fast. Maybe you can add a passes so that it will allow us to digest what you are saying really. So have that slow, steady way of storytelling, and again the eye contact and having that clap wherever possible. Moving on to our Toastmaster of the day, the twin towers we can call it as Toastmaster Arathi and Toastmaster Maria. So Rose, Arathi was the way whenever we want to anchor some question, they start with a question, they interact with the audience, and that part I think Arathi was pretty confident and she did it completely. And the personal stories, so the theme, speak up. So why she had this story relating to the theme was appreciable. And coming to Maria, she was a natural speaker. I felt like might be it's not scripted, but the way she delivered her speech today, it was natural, and she had the smile, which everyone was able to listen to her on that. On the areas to improve, maybe Maria, I felt maybe when you joined, it was appearing with some device name. Rather, you can put that your name so that everyone know that there are two anchors in this meeting. And since you two Toastmaster of the day, that it could have been slightly better if you have that conversation type. Maybe someone who doesn't know about Toastmaster and someone who knows about Toastmaster, and this person asking the other person, something like that, so that it will be a little bit more engaging. So moving on to the educational session, I really loved this session because it was very smooth and attractive. So in less than, I just noted that it was less than 4.5 minutes, I think. But in that little time, she could able to give in a lot of information without we feeling bored. That is because of our analogy of the real life example of a gym or the 10,000 hours of practice. And even when explaining the price, those food item would have captured our attention, made us think what is in for us. And the slides are also, it was very minimal slides, maybe 3 or 4 slides, but those were all relevant slides. So very good way of conducting a short and crispy session like this. Thank you for that. And maybe cons, I think as maybe questions, asking questions to audience, I think we have that later part of this agenda today on that. So let me evaluate that, post that, how she answers that question. Moving on to the table topic master, Toastmaster Bhavana. I think today she's also doing a project that is called as active listening project. The way she listens to each speaker and her interpretation of that. That is what the whole agenda is all about. And coming to that evaluation part, I think she applauded each and every speaker, despite if they are not able to speak or whatever their problem is, she was able to applaud each and every speaker. And second, by breaking the ice, like most of them are guests and many were reluctant to speak at the start. So the way of calling a member first really was appreciable. And the topic selection, speak up, open up, shut up, make up. So all those topic, I think anybody can slightly speak on that. If at all we know that this is up to us, so we can speak something on that. And listen to each speaker and others. That is the whole point of this project. So she was able to listen to each and every speaker. That is every speaker's comment, their personal story. She was able to listen to it and she was able to comment on it. So that is much appreciable. Maybe slightly area where you can improve. The first one is experience on the speaker topic. Like I could see in some of the speaker speeches, you told about what you had the similar experience. Instead of that, maybe slightly, what is your takeaway from what they do? Like for example, Vinita is saying, you listen to everyone and then you speak. Maybe that is a key takeaway message for all the leaders or managers, so that we listen to everybody, take the views and give our opinion. So like that, you can tell a joke about them or completely about them, about their speech, and your takeaway message of their, maybe slightly a suggestion on that. And any other suggestion you can give to them at the end of your session to improve TT, like maybe a couple of suggestions, how to do it better next time. So you can add that on when you do the next time this role. But overall, you have done this role and you have actively listened to each and every speaker. Congratulations for that. Moving on to the role of a timer, I think she is doing this role for the second time, I believe. But again, she clearly explained the role, and especially want to mention that today we didn't have prepared speech, we didn't have evaluation session, but she makes sure that to all the guests there is such kind of a speech, there is such kind of a session, and explain the timing of that as well. That I really appreciate that fact. And she was able to time each and every as per the agenda. If you can see every session, she was able to show the cards and make sure that we are in time. I'm not going to spoil that. I'll also quickly run over this report. On the area to improve, maybe she can give you a unmute and give a out applause for those who saved her job today, maybe within time, or I could try for a PPT report, which would have just an Excel report, so that the picture speaks a lot, and it'll help us to know what we have. And moving on to the grammarian, she clearly explained what is the correct usages and the wrong usages. And even the word of this day, I slightly felt it is tougher, but the way everyone has used it, I think she has done a pretty good job in making us use that word of the day as much as possible. And she applauded for the majority of the speaker. We didn't make a mistake, so we have to congratulate ourselves that we are good, somewhat better in grammarian part. And coming to the Cons, maybe PPT report, as Grammarian report is also too much of information related report. Everyone can take it forward. You can plan for a PPT kind of a report, and also plan for a quote of the day or idiom of the day, so that those people will be more interested to use those as well. And coming to the R counters report, here once again properly explain the role so that every guest will know what it's this role about, and uploaded. This part I really appreciate for the speakers with no filler words. He listened to everyone. So a lot of us spoke today, and he listened patiently to every one of us. And maybe on maybe areas to improve, slightly a tip to overcome a filler word, and a PPT report could have been slightly better. And that's it. I have come to the each and every speaker. In the interest of time, I will share the report offline. Overall, I think we had that element of fun as well as learning. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Arathi.
Wow, Dave, wonderful. This is what happens when you give a role to a business analyst who builds the client by the number of slides in a PPT. I can't believe that you made this PPT up as in when we were all talking. A good job. Wow. You have now stressed me. You have raised the bar for the role. Thank you so much, Dave. It shows that you were a very active listener. You were listening to each of us. You were making notes. And I love the tag team also, who gave us a lot of relevant information. The timer showing the cards. That is very, very useful, because we have seen so many of our meetings, so many of our events officially, personally, go out of control because some speaker wouldn't just shut up. The timer report for individual table topic speaker was also good, because I'm sure most of you who came in would have come with the thought that I would not be able to survive that 1 minute. And see, some of you have gone beyond 2 minutes, which is great. That's a good problem to solve. You know, you can speak for 2 minutes on any random topic. The R counter told us about the bumps that we have. You would have seen that video, some TEDx talk that you want to run in 1.5x speed, because the speaker is adding in so many filler words. Now the R counter report gives us feedback. And I remember doing an R counter report myself. And finally, the last line was, okay, this is the team's report. And my report, while making this report, I repeated the word, so many times. So it's a self-learning activity. And the Grammarian, thank you, Jazna, for making us use the word alacrity. It is wired into our brain now, and we cannot unthink of it. I'm sure you're going to use it appropriately and inappropriately back at your workplace. Thank you so much. Now let us get on to the point where we address queries from any of the guests. We will have a short Q&A. We will wind up at 1:30 on the dot. But let us spend a couple of minutes now to see if there are any questions. Thank you, Ajit, for saying that Toastmasters here are so good. We, like Radhika said, we were the people who were very scared to get onto the treadmill. But once we liked the treadmill, we cannot get down from it, because every small step that you do, every mile that you do makes a difference. Now, are there any questions from the guest? I'll remove my spotlight, and let's have some of the guests here. Let's check with a guest if they have any questions about Toastmasters, how to join. If you want to know how to join, there is one smart lady out here, our Grammarian Jazna, with all alacrity, will get you into that whirlpool of how to be a member. Once you're in, you cannot just escape her claws. So she will reach out to you with your registration. If you have not registered directly, please reach out to the person who pushed you into the meeting, but I hope it was a push worth, suffering. Now, a timer. How are we doing? Should I move on?
Yes, we have time.
All right. Any questions? Okay, there goes Jazna with her contact details. Please ping her on WhatsApp and let her know. Yes, Anoop, any questions?
No, Arathi, how is it with PMI Kerala? Because I'm not much active, so I see there is also
All right.
there are programs with PMI.
Sure. So Technopark Toastmasters is one of the 10 clubs in Trivandrum. There are around 12 clubs in the area. If you remember the pyramid that Radhika was showing, a club is part of an area. In Trivandrum itself, we have multiple clubs. There is a corporate club in HNR block. That was where TMOD Maria comes from. A corporate club means that only members of that organization are part of it. We have open clubs, that is the Trivandrum Toastmasters. We have Technopark Club, which is more tuned for IT professionals. There is a PMI Trivandrum Chapter Club that is for PMI members who can be Toastmasters. So depending on your taste, sometimes you would want to interact with the right kind of crowd so that you have the comfortable area or speaking area. So the tagline of Toastmasters is we give you a comfortable area where you can practice. You can fail and practice. We don't say it is a failure because any attempt you do is that, an attempt towards a greater opportunity. So you can join up any of these clubs, and sometimes we feel that if you are in a similar group, the vibes work out and you can. So for PMI, you need to be a PMI member as well. For us, anyone based out of Technopark or in the IT field can be a member.
And you can become part of two groups? Or?
Yes, you can. I am a Toastmaster for the last 10 years. I'm part of two clubs, one Trivandrum Toastmasters, which is my parent club. And around 2 years back, we charted apart, some of us here charted together Technopark Toastmasters. So I took a dual membership. So I get a benefit of exposures in both places. I get to present my speeches in both, and the learning is great.
So Anoop, you can start by joining us, and then later on, if you want, you can also join the PMI Toastmasters. No problem at all.
So right now, I am donning the hat of a Toastmaster champion, and Jazna will be very focused as the membership VP of Technopark Toastmasters. So all roads to Jazna, please.
Yes, please. You are in in-app, right, Anoop?
Yes,
I'm right across. We'll be contacting you where
I saw, yeah.
But we know where to get Anoop. I can help you there.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? So can I have a raise of hands from the guests? Can I have you on video as well? To see if you have enjoyed it, please raise your hand.
Arathi, my cam has suddenly developed, some flutters in the stomach.
No problem. You can use the emoticon.
So I may look like I'm peeping out from behind a tree, but I'm not.
Okay, no problem. Again, I know where to find Ajit.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. I would also like to know how many of you would like to take a membership. Hey, we'll take a screenshot of this and hold you to it. But jokes apart,
please ping me on WhatsApp. Just leave me a message and I'll get back in touch with you. Yeah. My number is right on screen.
Sure.
So if money is the problem that key holds you back, then remember that you spend far, far more on lots of other things. It's time to invest on yourself. If time is the problem that you think is keeping you back, until you push yourself and put yourself in a spot, you will not find time. So make it work for you. So give your head in a platter to Jazna. She will take care of your time. With that, I would like to thank you for listening to this. To do the formal closure of the meeting, I would hand it over back to the President, Toastmaster Prakash. Thank you for the opportunity and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arathi and Maria, for such a wonderful meeting. It was well planned out, well thought out, I would say, focusing on professional life as well as personal life and voice speaking now is really important. And with that note, let us conclude this meeting. We reached the time. Let me officially conclude this meeting and stay back and discuss any other points.